What's going on? Long time no see. Joe Marmello here. I wanted to come on here today to talk to you about why maybe it's not a good idea to play covers for a living. Now, just hear me out for a minute. If your goal is consistent with playing cover music, getting out there, making some money as a side job, kind of a gig economy kind of thing, or with the hope, maybe in the intent to make it your full-time income, then, and you're not a writer, then by all means, learn some covers and get out there and play. I teach you how to do that on this channel. I've been talking about that now for a couple of years. But if you are an artist and you want to develop yourself and go do something out there with your own music, it might not be the best decision, because let me just reiterate my own story. Not saying that I didn't go out there and try to do things, but I think it may have stunted me in some ways because, first of all, let me just say that playing cover music, learning it will teach you what a good song is. That's how the Beatles came up. They played all the classics, the R&B stuff, the blues stuff, the pop stuff of the day. I think that taught them. They even said how to write a good song. That'll teach you what a good song is if you have talent. But you don't have to take it out and play it. See, for me, I got so successful so quickly by my early 20s. By 20 years old, I was making a living better than I could make doing any kind of job. And I thought it gave me the time to work on my own material, to record, to write, and things like that. And I had opportunities that I should have taken, where I could have toured and I could have moved to LA when it was still going on, and I couldn't figure out how to make a living there. I did try to move some places a few times, and I couldn't make a living outside of playing music because I got so used to making that really good living, that $150 a night, whatever it was I made in those days. It was good money for the time. So I think it could hurt you potentially. Now, John Mayer also said that had he had a more cover-friendly voice, which meaning if he could cover more of a broad range, if his range was better, he probably would have played covers, and that probably would have stopped his own original development. But the fact that his voice was so limited meant that he had to hone in on a particular thing that he could do and make the best of what he could do. And I think he's right about that. So in some instances, getting out there playing cover music could be detrimental to what your goals are. If your goals are to become an artist, you could come up learning cover music, getting really good on your instrument, learning what makes a good song, and then you can just work on your own material and go off on your own. You don't need to be out in the bars working. I think in some sense it can frustrate you quite a bit. If you're your own artist and you're forced to go out there and play other people's material, I've gotten bitter. There were times in my life when I was bitter, that I was having to play other people's music and I wasn't able to make a living from my own art. That was a big problem for years, I have to say. So keep that in mind before you venture out and start working on cover music. Other than that, I really can't think of any other reasons why you shouldn't go out there and play cover music, but there are a select few real artists who probably shouldn't do it for a living. They should probably work on developing their own material. And I was one of them at times. And the funny thing is I would talk to other musicians that I knew, and they just couldn't understand. They're like, you got a dream job. You're making a living playing music. I'm like, no, I'm not making a living playing my music, which is what I really wanted to do. So I'm happy with my life. I'm ecstatic at where I am. I love how it's turned out. I'm so thankful to God every day that I have my life. But there's definitely things that I probably would have done differently, directions I would have gone, places I would have moved to at certain times and circumstances I would have gotten in had I never started playing covered music. So you need to keep that in mind. You really need to hone in and focus on what your specific goals are in music. And if they are to be your own original, can you imagine Bob Dylan out playing covers? It would be a disaster. Yeah, he could do Woody Guthrie and a couple artists of the folk day, but that would be it. So he never would have turned into Bob Dylan. So keep that in mind. I just want to come here today because it was on my mind. I hope all is well with everybody. Like and subscribe, please. I appreciate it. And I'll talk to you soon.